legend, a Tintin pledge. He's not in a cape, but he's saving the day. Cooler cars, clear reviews, his own special way. Tin Man to back, rolling through the breeze. Shields your ride from the island's heat with ease. Tin Man to back, hero on the go, where the sun can touch. That's where his magic shows. Tin Man to back, rolling through the breeze. Shield your ride from the island's heat with ease. Tin Man to back, hero on the go, where the sun can touch. That's where his magic shows.
Grab your bush.
Yeah, man, go for it.
Right on. Thanks, bro. Hey, bro, can I grab your bush too?
Sure, bro. Go ahead.
Thanks.
Now I can grab my own bush. Saipan, it's time to grab your bush. Pick up a 12-pack of ice-cold bush, and you're in for more than just a refreshing beer. Every 12-pack gives you a chance to win exclusive bush gear and more. So don't wait. Swing by your favorite store, grab your bush, and join the fun. Because here in Saipan, the best moments are even better with Bush. Grab your bush today.
AP News. I'm Ed Donahue. A federal official says immigration agents arrested more than 130 people in a weekend sweep through Charlotte, North Carolina. Governor Josh Stein warned the crackdown effort is simply stoking fear. Kyle Deck lives in Charlotte.
Stand by. I have a small daughter, and I told my wife on Saturday that I'm going to be able to confidently answer the question, what did I do when this happened? What would I have done in the 40s in Germany? I'm going to do it today. I'm going to show up. I'm going to film it. I'm going to let them know that.
The Trump administration has made Charlotte its latest focus for an immigration enforcement surge it says will combat crime. A defense official tells the AP hundreds of National Guard troops deployed to Chicago and Portland, Oregon are being sent home, and those who will remain will continue to stay off the streets. After recent strikes involving Venezuela, President Trump was asked at the White House about strikes against a bigger country.
Would I launch strikes in Mexico to stop drugs? It's okay with me. Whatever we have to do to stop drugs. Mexico is... Look, I looked at Mexico City over the weekend. There's some big problems over there.
The Trump administration has built up a fleet of warships near Venezuela as American forces keep blowing up small boats accused of smuggling narcotics for drug cartels. The acting chief of the Federal Emergency Management Agency has left his post after just 6 months on the job, marking another disruption in a year of staff departures and policy changes. The Department of Homeland Security did not comment on the reason for David Richardson's departure. Former Cleveland Browns quarterback Bernie Kosar has received a liver transplant after being on the waiting list for more than a year. Kosar shared a video on social media. More information at apnews.com. This is AP News. A zoo in New Jersey lets you watch animals get treated.
A new observation theater at a zoo in northern New Jersey lets visitors see animals get live medical treatments. The Turtleback Zoo this year joined the relatively few U.S. zoos that routinely give the public a view of veterinary care. It's perhaps one of a dozen or fewer of the 250 animal parks accredited by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums.
We are in the treatment room, which is on display to our guests, and we're going to be doing our turkey vulture named Autumn.
Kaylee Anderson is a Turtleback Zoo veterinarian.
It's not very common to have a window into a treatment room. More zoos are starting to do it as hospitals are being redone because of the value of the education aspect.
The experience is not only new for the turkey vulture, but also a novelty for many onlookers. That's because few zoos offer a window on veterinary care.
I'm Ed Donahue, AP News.
If you see something, say something. And stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at nmicrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
It's the 12 bags of Christmas from Bud Light to you. Buy a pack here at home, win big prizes too. Gather your friends, the season is here. It's the 12 bags of Christmas from Bud Light.
The 12 weeks of cheers are on. Purchase any 12-pack of Bud Light, Budweiser, or Michelob Ultra cans now through December 19th for your chance to win a trip for two to watch your favorite NFL team live, plus weekly prizes. Details at currentcnmi.com.
As the day unfolds with laughter and cheer, Brad's got the magic that brings us all near. Sharing tales of hope, dreams that shine bright. Good morning, Marianas, together we ignite. So join the palm trees, we dance through the days. The rhythm and soul in so many ways, together we rise through the
morning, Marianas. It is 7:43. It is Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. If you guys aren't planning to head down to Godfather's, get some tacos after work today, you are making the wrong decisions. This is the day when it's okay to try tequila, and those lime-flavored little nacho chips are pretty good too. Oh man, oh gosh, what a day. Can you think of anything else you'd rather do than, let's just pack it up right now. Let's go to Godfather's, set up a tent, and wait for them to open for those tacos. I'm telling you, I'm ready for tacos right now at 7:44 in the morning on Tuesday. Hey, I'm serious. It's something about it. Maybe it's this little Tint Man Tobot song. Maybe it's that it is Tuesday. I don't know. I'm ready for Taco Tuesday. I'm in. I'm all in on Taco Tuesday. So let's get this party started. Good morning, Mariana. So we got a great show lined up for you today, and we got a lot of stuff going on locally, all around the world, and well, we're here for you now. Want to remind you, our number for the show, you want to give us a call? Oh yeah, the phone is right here. 789-2323, 670-789-2323. We take your calls. Why? Well, because you're awesome, and we want to talk to you, and we want to hear what you got going on. Yesterday was a big day over there in CPA land. I'm telling you, all the folks from Tinian and Rhoda are going to get quite the upgrade now that we've got some amazing terminal. I can't wait till the flights actually start coming out of there. We spoke with Sean Christian from Star Marianas. We spoke with John Stewart from Micronesian Air Connections. And what they were telling us is that they don't have all their stuff in there yet, but the building's open and they are going to be moving in there and they are going to start doing it. So we're looking maybe about a week or so. I would say probably by the end of the month. But the other thing is, you got to factor in that holiday. So I'm guessing maybe December. And wow, man, the artwork in there and everything. We interviewed a whole bunch of people, and we'll go back and show you a bunch of those today too. But wow, what an amazing thing. That could legit be the Saipan International Airport. That doesn't have to just be the commuter airport. I mean, think about who we got. We got Max, we got Star, we got United, we got Jeju, and got some other people who come in from time to time. There's enough counters for all of those. And with the amount of flights that come and go and the number of passengers that are really at the airport at any given time, our commuter terminal could legit be our real airport. And I mean like our real full-on international airport. I know there's people, Brad, how dare you? How dare you? No, think about, what did they say? FAA says the same thing. They give CPA a hard time about, you got to make sure that you're able to match your expenses to what you're actually bringing in. Oh, I know. There's no international waiting area. They got a CBP desk right there. All they need to do is put a little TSA thing, and you're golden. I mean, really, it's just that simple for them to be able to do that. You can make an easy TSA pass right on through thing. For our small town, this is the best idea. Anyway, that's just me talking. There's probably all kinds of complications, but I'm telling you, that's how big it is. Also, that's how nice it is in there. I can't wait. The artwork in there is just beautiful, and everybody was blown away. Well, anyway, speaking of getting blown away, let's talk about weather real quick. Today's actually looking pretty good. 81 degrees outside right now at the Saipan International Airport and Commuter Terminal. We're looking at 85% humidity up there right now. We're expecting isolated showers throughout the day. Mostly sunny skies, high near 87. A wind out of the east at around 15 miles per hour, but it is going to be a little gusty today, 20 miles per hour. It's going to move that news van of justice around just a little bit. So definitely expecting that to happen while we're out there. It happened yesterday. It was gusty yesterday, no doubt about it. Tomorrow is going to look pretty good too. Actually, just a carbon copy of today. The wind's going to pick up just a little tick Wednesday. And we start getting into Thursday, that wind is going to continue to get stronger as we build on through the week. So not too bad out there. It is beautiful. This is the day. I mean, we had a couple of sprinkles. We were waking up early morning this morning, and we are up early, and we got that sprinkles going. Today, speaking of early, it's going to be early morning, but it's going to be the Monday Night Football game. Dallas Cowboys at the L.A. Come on, Brandon. You're better than this. Las Vegas. Jeez. All right, Dallas Cowboys at the LA I said it again. Oh my God. At least I think maybe it would be better if I said Oakland. The Las Vegas Raiders. I guess it's just hard for me to say it. I can't say Las Vegas. I don't know. Why is that? Is it because my brother-in-law's in town from Vegas? Yeah, we're going to be out there hiking and biking and all kinds of stuff while Bong and Loida are here. And the kids. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to get out and do a whole bunch of stuff with them today. Maybe not just today, but throughout the week. And they're going to be here through Thanksgiving. So this Thanksgiving is going to be really good. Guaranteed we're going to have some turkey. And yes, I know we're going to get it from. In fact, if you are a big fan of turkey, we could tell you about it. I mean, I know I'm a turkey. I am what I eat. But Thanksgiving is here at Great Harvest. You can celebrate the season with our Thanksgiving packages, specials, sandwiches, goodies, and drinks. Whether you're hosting, gifting, or just craving something freshly baked, we've got you covered. Stop by Great Harvest and taste the goodness of the holidays. Great Harvest. We love those guys, and they are one of our new sponsors for the show. We got the whole family package over there, Triple J, Surf Club, Surf Rider, and Great Harvest. And we're going to continue telling you about all the good stuff that they've got when we tell you about them during the show, on the commercials, all that good stuff. Also, looking forward to this new project that we got coming up with PHA Pharmacy. I know you hear about them every single day, multiple times a day whenever we do the show, but PHA Pharmacy has a new thing that we're working on together. I can't wait. And by the way, their office is so cool. Mine feels so lame when I'm around those guys. It's just something that happens. I can't do anything about it. I don't have the ladies' touch that they've got over there. But they've got it, and it's awesome. Boy, and they got pink keyboards. They got memes on the wall. They just seem like they have a real fun office. Well, I don't know. I got to get up there. We were just there yesterday chatting them up about this new project. But trying to get there, you got to get there on the road. So let's tell you about what's going on with traffic right now. All right. That is your current look at the traffic over there by Shell Dandan at Chal Monsignor Martinez when it meets Issa Drive / the CMG. Right now, there's a little traffic in both directions over there, but when you start trying to head down the hill, it is going to be, well, your traffic experience starts going downhill because it is slow. Whether you're going to NMC or further down the hill, the folks creeping out from NMC, people trying to get past Java Joe's, Joe 10 Dan, it is just one heck of a day. Everyone driving twice as much as they did yesterday with the austerity PSS thing. Over there by the connection, the place where connections that matter, at the intersection that matters, IT&E, everything looks pretty good. When you get closer, though, toward the old AK, that's when you're going to see a little bit of congestion. Not too much. People just starting to get there. Taking a look at, they've already removed all those windows and everything. It is just looking wild over there. What is the new building going to look like? Who knows? But traffic looking all the way good all the way down to Chalampia, but once you get down to Chalampia, oh my goodness, it is not where you want to be now because there is traffic in both directions trying to get folks in and out of Hopwood. And man, the Admiral, not too happy about traffic on the seas of Chalampia. All right, over there by Oslito Drive. That's right, Oslito Drive is where the folks from SIS start going to school. It's over there by a nutrition assistance program, too. That's a little bit busy today. Over there by San Vicente, the home of the Canaries. A little bit of traffic after those parents have just dropped off their little birds off to school. Everything else in Cagman, though, looking pretty good as we look around the back Island Road. And you can see where it gets a little busy. That's right, the Rodeo Drive of Saipan, the morning shopping district, the New Sarah Market, Zenu Market, and Capitol Hill Market, the merienda capital of the Marianas. Right there, all those stores right in the same place. My gosh. What are they selling? What are they doing differently? I don't know, but they're all there. And so are all the cars. Going through Puerto Rico, you're only going to get a little bit of static when you're making your way by that Navy Hill intersection, by the tennis courts / pickleball courts over there at AMP. No matter what direction, there's cars. That's just going to happen. We're making our way down through Garapan and double barrel look at Middle Road and Beach Road. It is a mess when you're getting over there by Sushi Spot and Bank of Hawaii because there's nothing but traffic both directions. Plus there's bus stop over there. Forget it. It's Moida.
don't be the guy who's trying to pass around all the time, zipping in and out and all that other stuff. No, sorry, dude. That is a tough spot no matter what you do. And then, there's people crossing the road at the times when you're trying to get somewhere fast. The only solution to that is to get there faster, get up earlier and handle that. Oh, wait, there is another solution. You can get yourself a helicopter. You don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. Well, until you get one, we got you covered. Not too bad. All right, that's your first look at traffic, but the good news is that you don't even have to pay attention to traffic at all if you pay attention to Transit CNMI. Transit CNMI taking you all around the island, but getting you where you need to go on the Blue Line. Everywhere from Tilteville to the Paseo, they take you where you need to go. Oh, that's right. They've got great seats. They're comfortable, great air conditioning. It's only $2. Takes you anywhere you need to go on the Blue Line. I love it. I love how fast it is, how efficient it is, and how comfortable it is. But you know what else I love? The free Wi-Fi. That's right, free Wi-Fi on Transit CNMI. So $2, again, takes you everywhere you need to go, unless you're a student, a veteran, active duty military, Monopco, or you've got a disability, then it's only $1. Special deal this month. If you are in the military, if you used to be in the military, just flash your ID card and you're gonna ride for free. Hey, you got immediate family members riding with you? That's free too. That's right. Just for the month of November, it's part of their Salute to Service from Transit CNMI. Now you can hop on the Blue Line from Monday to Friday from 6:30 in the morning to 8:30 p.m. Weekends and holidays, 6:30 in the morning to 8 p.m. Make sure you pay an exact change. They do not make change for you. Just bring it what you need when you get on there. If you want more information, you can give them a call at 236-2682, 236-2682. It's Transit CNMI. Get anywhere you need to go. You can find out where their buses are. They're all over the CNMI. Right now, there's one over there in Aslito on John Monsignor Martinez. I can see it. The other one is heading north on Beach Road. And then they've got a couple that are just hanging out just in case they need to spring into action. You got to love it. Transit CNMI. They are an award-winning transit service, and we've got them here at home in the Marianas. You just can't beat it. You got to love it. I love those guys, and I'm glad that they're able to get folks around no matter where you need to go. It's not just the Blue Line, but the Blue Line is a big piece of everything that they do out here in the Marianas. And my goodness, we could definitely I can't wait to see what happens when they expand those offerings and they go further throughout the Marianas. I know they're already working big time in Rhoda and Tinian to make it happen because people keep asking about them. And no kidding, when you see how great it is here in Saipan with the Blue Line and with Transit CNMI, you would want that in Rhoda and Tinian too. Well, the good news is it's coming, so can't complain about that at all. All right, but you know what we could start getting into a little bit? We'll give you a little recap about the football scores. All right, so let's do it. We're going to get into it. It is the National Football League. Here is the full lineup except for tonight's game. You got the Jets and Patriots. We already know about that last week, 27-14. Patriots over the Jets. Dolphins beating the Commanders 16-13. The Packers beat the Jersey Giants 27-20. They looked so good. What happened to them? Not anymore. The Texans over the Titans 16-13. The Carolina Panthers in overtime beat the Falcons. The Bears beat the Vikings. That's right, scoliosis. The Jaguars 35. Chargers. What happened to you guys, AFC West? 35-6. The Bills beat the Buccaneers 44-32. Not too shabby. I'll take it. The Steelers, a battle of the old men. The Steelers 34, Bengals 12. Thank you. Oh, yeah, that's great. We got a great guest in the studio today. Just popped up on the old calendar. 49ers lumping the Cardinals 41-22. Cardinals are adrift on the sea without a captain. The Rams barely beat the Seahawks 21-19. Big match in the NFC West. The Broncos beat the Chiefs. What's going on with the Chiefs? I don't know, but I'll take it. 22 Broncos, Chiefs 19. The Ravens somehow, after losing most of the game, beat the Browns 23-16. I thought it was going the other way. Then I got my heart broken. The Eagles Also beat the Lions 16-9. What is going on? The Lions went for it on 4th down 5 times. You know how many times they got it? No times. That's how it goes in Campbell Land. All right, but we already talked about it. Tonight, the Monday Night Football game, Tuesday morning game. The Raiders taking on Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. Is Jerry Jones heading onto the field? No. But the Cowboys are playing, and they're all power about Jerry. And we'll see how that goes. Eric Larson, good luck, buddy. I was just watching. There's so many jokes about the Cowboys fans. And I was watching a comedian this morning who was saying that, you know, he recently got divorced and everything. He's like, yeah, but if I'm ever going to date anyone seriously again, I'm going to make sure that she is a Cowboys fan. Because if she ever comes up and says, hey, are we ever going to get married? I can always tell her, hey, this is going to be our year. And they'll believe anything. I love it. Sorry, Eric. Hey, I feel your pain as a team that looks like they're supposed to do good and sometimes just flat out are terrible. I feel your pain. That's just it. I can tell you that. We're on the same page on that one, partner. You're the best. Cowboys might not be, but you are. You're okay. All right, so that's what's going on. So 11:15 today, tomorrow Standard Time, is when the Raiders and the Cowboys are going to kick off, and we'll be there for it. I got an idea. We'll see if it ends up working out. Now, today, we are supposed to have some folks from Department of Public Safety in to join us this morning. Going to be talking about some great stuff. We're going to talk about their programs, about being safe on the road during this holiday season, and we want to make sure that we get all that stuff out there to you. All right, in the meantime, we're going to throw it to a sports update real quick, so don't go anywhere, but you're going to be able to hear this right now.
Fox Sports Update.
The Chiefs' 9-year reign over the AFC West looks over.
Lutz in the clutch, and the Broncos have won it.
Courtesy CBS, Zach Lutz gave the Broncos a 22-19 win over the Chiefs. Denver's 9-2, Kansas City 5-5 and outside the playoffs. In the NFC West, the Rams defense flexed, intercepting Sam Darnold 4 times in a 21-19 win over the Seahawks. The Niners kept pace 41-22 over the Cardinals. Heavyweight clash in Philadelphia with the Eagles hosting the Lions and winning a defensive struggle on a cold, windy night 16-9. In the AFC, the Bills may be back.
Josh Allen inside the 5. They're going to push him in. Pay dirt.
Courtesy CBS, Allen with 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing. The Bills beat the Bucs 44-32. The Ravens won their 4th in a row, 23-16 over the Browns. The Bears edged the Vikings 19-17 and are 7-3. The Steelers beat the Bengals.
It's Will Kane Country. Watch it live at noon Eastern Monday through Thursday at foxnews.com or on the Fox News YouTube channel. And don't miss the show. Listen and follow the podcast 5 days a week at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
34-12. Pittsburgh quarterback Aaron Rodgers left the game with a hand injury. Jalen Ramsey was ejected for punching Jamar Chase, who says he spit on him. More injuries. The Packers lost running back Josh Jacobs in their 27-20 win over the Giants. The Titans' miserable season got worse. At 1-9, Calvin Ridley broke his fibula, out for the season in a 16-13 loss to the Texans. And the Falcons lost quarterback Michael Penix Jr. and receiver Drake London in a 30-27 overtime loss to the Panthers. New college football AP Top 25. Top 3 is the same. Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M. Georgia up from 5-4 after a blowout win over number 10 Texas, who's now 17. Oklahoma up from 11-8 after beating number 4 Alabama, who falls to 10. World Cup qualifying. Portugal is in with a 9-1 rout of Armenia Sunday. Cristiano Ronaldo set to play in his 6th World Cup. England finished a perfect 8-0 qualifying campaign with no goals allowed, beating Albania 2-0. And the Ukraine and Ireland both got key wins to reach the qualifying playoffs. For more scores, stories, and features, go to foxsports.com. I'm Tim McMaster.
Get more on the Fox Sports app and foxsports.com.
If you see something, say something. And stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at nmicrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
It's the 12 packs of Christmas from Bud Light to you. Buy a pack here at home, win big prizes too. Gather your friends, the season is here. It's the 12 packs of Christmas from Bud Light.
The 12 weeks of cheers are on. Purchase any 12-pack of Bud Light, Budweiser, or Michelob Ultra cans now through December 19th for your chance to win a trip for two to watch your favorite NFL team live, plus weekly prizes. Details at currentcnmi.com.
Wake up, sunshine, it's a brand new day. Brad's got the stories that'll light your way. Take a smile on his face, he's ready to share. Share. Good morning, Marianas. Feel the love in the air. Good morning, Marianas. Come join the fun. Together we'll shine like the morning sun.
The waves crashing in, hear the oceans call. Brad brings the news that connects us all. From the islands to the world, goes the kind of wish. Good morning, Marianas, the best time of year.
Good morning, Marianas. Let's start the day. With laughter and stories, come what may. Bruce Camacho walks the shore, saipan skies, the waves adore. Faded boots and a camo cap, his story's stitched into the map. Oh, Bruce Camacho, you're a solid man.
How many shows do you know that can make a song just for you? How often? And it's of course genuine. It's made with love. Bruce Camacho has his own song. Louisa has one too. I just don't like it. We need to make a better song for Louisa. We'll end up doing that too. You guys can definitely earn your own song titles over here in the Marianas and have some fun with it. Yeah, that's it. Now, Bruce said he wants to date a Dallas girl because they won't expect a ring. That's even better. That is even better than that other joke that we had earlier. When the Angels win the pennant, that's a good one too. I love it. Great to see you guys. Don't you say it, he said it. All right, hey, just keeping up with you guys over there in the comments now. We got all this stuff on the screen and all that, but great to see you guys. Hey, Ignacio said, hey, speaking of Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders are finally getting paid more. Man, you know what? The thing is that a lot of those cheerleaders for the different football teams don't actually get paid. It's more of a, they like doing it kind of like board members for like the American Red Cross. They do it out of the love of doing it. They don't get anything out of it other than their sense of community and pride and all that stuff. Like, you don't get anything back. Oh my gosh, who is that in the comments, ladies and gentlemen? Who is that guy? It's Peeling Gizmo. Man, I have not heard your voice in too long, my friend. I was just thinking about this the other day. I'm like, when was the last time? Was it 2024? When's the last time we got a call from Peeling? It's been forever, man. I feel like, one of the guys who brings the most fun to the program, we haven't heard from him. It's been silent. Did you lose your voice, partner? Are you okay? We do see you when you pop in the comments, though, so thanks for that. Appreciate it. Peeling Gazebo, that's a guy who needs a song. That is a guy who needs a song. Let me put you on the list. Not that kind of list, not a bad list. It's a good list there, right? All right, so songs. Who's in there? Peeling Gazebo. You're not the only one on there, so if other people are wondering, hey, Fanny didn't say my name. Don't worry, you'll get your chance. You'll get on there too. But it is great to see all you guys, and welcome back. The fun for this morning continues as we talk about what's going on here in the Marianas. And there are some cool things. We got this video that will pop on the screen now from our Congresswoman. This is a story that we're going to be popping online today. But our Congresswoman was putting it out there as a reminder to everybody of some of the cool stuff that she can do as a U.S. Congresswoman. And not everybody knows all this cool stuff, but we got to see it from Congressman Kilili a bunch while he was there. And now she's able to do this stuff for the Marianas as well. So let's get this up there. We want to make sure that you guys get to hear this. Do you want to pay for college for your kids? Of course not. You want someone else to pay for it. Well, here's a great opportunity that takes care of two birds with one stone.
Days and Tito, everybody, let's take a quick minute to talk about Service Academy nominations, all right? It's an amazing opportunity for students who are thinking about college and a future in serving our country. So every year, as your delegate, I have the honor of nominating some of the Northern Marianas' brightest young men and women to attend our nation's prestigious service academies, right? Now we're talking about the U.S. Military Academy at West Point in New York, the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, the U.S. Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, and the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy in Kings Point, New York. Guys, these are world-class tuition-free universities that prepare our kids for leadership and a lifetime of service. And then graduates earn a commission as officers and go on to serve our country with distinction, right? Because they just graduated these world-class universities. So here's what you need to know, right, about the application process. One, it's highly competitive, and a congressional nomination is one of the first steps. So, if you're between 17 and 23 years old, a U.S. citizen, a high school graduate, unmarried, and ready to show strong academics, leadership, and physical fitness, this might be your path. So here's how it works, right? I can nominate up to 20 students to West Point and 10 each to Naval, Air Force, and Merchant Marine academies. But so we're all clear, okay, because this is really important, I don't get to pick who gets in. Each academy has its own admissions board that makes the final decision on who receives an appointment. My role is just to nominate the most qualified candidates from the CNMI so that they have the chance to compete at the national level. So if you've ever dreamed about serving our country, or if you're a parent who knows your son or daughter is ready for a challenge that builds character and opens doors, this is that chance. And the deadline to apply for my nomination is December 5th, 2025. So it's about a month away, a little less than a month away, which is why I'm doing this post. You can find all the details and application materials on my official website at king-hines.house.gov, or just stop by our offices in Rhoda, Tinian, or Saipan to ask questions. Guys, this is one of my favorite parts of this job, right? Helping the next generation of Marianas leaders take their first step towards something extraordinary. So don't wait. If this sounds like you, get your application in before the deadline. And the deadline again, December 5th, 2025. Love you.
All right, there you go. That's your opportunity. So we're going to post this on here in case you didn't write everything down in that little quick bit. We're going to post this up on the page for you, so you won't miss it at all. We got the whole transcription and excuse me, a whole story for it and everything. So you're going to be good to go. But you've got a month to go, and you want to make sure you can get this stuff knocked out. This is really cool that they're able to do this. And again, Congressman Khalili was able to do it. I would love it if my kids, think about what it is. I mean, you're able to say that your kid went to Annapolis, your kid went to West Point. I mean, that would be pretty awesome if you're a parent. If you're a kid, well, hopefully you feel that way too. But it's up to the individual, right? But it's a great opportunity to get nominated, to say that you went to a service academy nominated by a U.S. Congresswoman is pretty badass. I gotta say, that is a great opportunity. It would be awesome. It's too late for me, but it's not too late for you. You can get out there and get your kid ready to go. Hey, and this doesn't just stop with whoever changes terms. It's something that everybody who's a U.S. Congressman gets. So if your kids aren't old enough yet, don't worry. You're still going to be able to do it. And it's going to be a great opportunity. If that is indeed what you want them to do, and it is indeed what they want to do, lifetime of benefits and all that other stuff. I mean, take it from me. I still am lucky enough to be able to do this kind of stuff. Oh, this reminds me, by the way, of a conversation I was having with somebody. Did you catch the coverage that we had of the presentation by Dr. David Vine last week? Was it Friday night? I think it was Friday. It was definitely Friday night. If you didn't, there was an interesting presentation hosted by a local group called Our Commonwealth, like separated, Our Commonwealth 670. And it was about the increasing, I would say, influence, I think maybe is the right word, but the increasing footprint maybe of the military out here in our part of the world. And the full video is available. It's on there. You know what I need to do? I need to download and post it to our YouTube channel. Let me just write this down real quick because I want to make sure that that's over there for everybody too. To YouTube. I want to make sure that's up there for everybody too in perpetuity. But it's one of the live feeds, so you're able to see it on our website, nminewsservice.com. So go check that out. The story is the group Our Commonwealth and Dr. David Vine, pose a couple of different viewpoints to what's going on out here, all around the world. Really, they talk about the bases, the military, and it's really focused on our military because it seems to be like the heavier thing. They're not paying attention to the other militaries, but. The United States military is pretty massive. I mean, we talk about it routinely about how it's the biggest military in the world and all this other stuff, and our footprint is so big. It's kind of interesting, though, if you look at it, think about, this is taxing the brain a little bit. You're deep back into your, high school studies and stuff like that, but, the Romans were so spread out. They were the biggest military in the world, but they were so spread out. It ended up not being great for them at the end of it. But here, with our military is a little bit everywhere, and I wouldn't say they're anti-military in general, although there's a lot of pretty heavy anti-military sentiments in there. But I think that it's more about the presence of the military in the region. And so I'd really like to get him on the show. But even if I can't get him on the live show, I'd like to have a sit down. Unfortunately, he left Ireland already. And we were going to try to sneak it in over the weekend, between his schedule, because his schedule is pretty packed, right? We were going to try to do it ideally on Saturday, which would not have worked, but I was going to try it anyway. And then Sunday, which was kind of an open day, even though I was here, we were going to try to do that too. But again, his dance card was kind of full. But I wanted to engage with him in a meaningful conversation, not just a little tit for tat kind of stuff in there. After his presentation, I had a lot of people come up to me and ask me, what did you think about it? And like when they came with saucer eyes, what did you think about that? I mean, were you just seething, ready to, I'm like, no, even if somebody has an opposing point of view, and not everything he said, I didn't feel like all of it was just an opposing point of view. But we do have a different take on some things. And I really, with everything that he presented, I would say I put it into 3 categories, or like how I felt about it. One part of it is I totally agree with a certain amount of this stuff that he said. Another third of it, I would just like to have a discussion with him about some of it, and see if maybe there's a few more bridges to be built between the way he thinks and the way he is presenting some things and the way I interpret them. And then the third group of things, I just felt really uncomfortable listening to. And it's not, I'm trying to say things the right way, and I don't mean anything negative about it, because anybody who travels halfway around the world to deliver a message meant to help a community that he thinks is in need of it, I think that's great. And he was also coming out here at the invitation of people from here. So again, not a negative thing. And while a lot of people were leaning heavily on that activist side about like anti-military and all that, man, I gotta appreciate their point of view too. Even if I don't share the same sentiments that some of the folks do, it doesn't mean I value them any less, or I think that their opinion is discounted. I just don't agree with them. You know, we just have a disagreement, and I think that's the important part, because you can still say you love somebody and really disagree with them. It's the truth. And there were a lot of people there that I love, and I just disagree with them on these things. And the important part for me was to listen to other people's points of view. I don't have everything done. I am not the expert on everything. I know that the things that I have formulated in my mind to get to an opinion, hey, some of that reasoning might not be right. Some of it might be flawed. Some of it's a combination of all the influences that I've had and information that's come in, and that's where it came from. So that's, Louisa says that's marriage. That's right. That is absolutely right. That is brilliant. That is marriage. But again, yeah, I don't agree with all of it, and that's why I would like to have the conversation, not no, not like that meme where it's like, no, then the cat's like, meow. No, not that. Just a conversation. You know, have you considered this point of view? What led you to this? And I know I can have a virtual interview with him, you know, wherever he is in the world and everything. But I think the genuine human contact in the same room would have been better. You know, sitting across the table and having that kind of conversation. That's what I was really hoping for. I thought it would be the most valuable. Because when I see those videos of those interviews like on TV, it seems like people take a lot more license with the amount of, they're happy to build up all kinds of tension and make all kinds of attacks and stuff like that. And I don't want it to be like that at all. And sometimes if there's like a little delay, and I don't want that uncomfortable / almost, by the way, doesn't it bother you a little bit when you're having a call with somebody and there's that delay? I'm not a fan of it. So that builds up a little tension for me already. So being able to have that face-to-face conversation, really read the body language, hear the tones and all that, I would have preferred that. In lieu of that, I'll be very happy to have the interview with him from afar. And again, just to share some things, not I'm right, you're wrong at all. I mean, this is somebody who's got a PhD in these things, and I would love to have that conversation with him. I don't disagree with a lot of what he was saying. Some of it about about where all the bases are and all that. Like, for instance, like one of the things he talked about, Diego Garcia. And the base in Diego Garcia. Now, he spoke a lot about the human aspect of it, about the people who were from there, who were forcibly relocated to Mauritius years before the U.S. was there, right? And about how they're going to be able to get their islands back saved for Diego Garcia, because it's a British possession that the U.S. leases. And one of the points that he made was that, hey, it's the Department of Defense, Department of War now, but he said this is not a base for defensive posture. But it is a platform for war. I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know anyone who would. I don't think I've had a conversation with anybody in the military who would refer to the base in Diego Garcia as a platform for the defense of our nation. Could you twist the conversation into that? Probably. You could probably do anything. But I don't believe I've ever been, anyone has ever tried to sell me that that's just for defense. No, of course not. It's for power projection. That's 100% it. It is a platform for our country to be able to get the people who aren't doing the things that we'd want them to do. To get the bad guys. That's the simple way of saying it. Well, I'm going to take a couple of these. Excuse me. You can really hear those sips in this microphone. So anyway, so I agree with him on that. I 100% agree. Like, but it's almost like, but who said it was just for defense? Why are you saying it like this? It's like the canvas upon which he's painting this information sounded as if somebody was intentionally saying that this was for defense, but it's really for war. And so, like, I don't think anyone was trying to ever paint that. It's a place for us to have, forward basing for units that maybe it keeps the freedom of navigation, but really, I mean, it's a power projection. 100% what it is. We got an opportunity for a base, they took it. They got a lease, and that's it. And it helps us control that sphere of influence, I guess, with those folks that are out there. Now, why do we do that? Well, I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, I always think about it in terms of if you've read the book or, like me, watched the movies for the Hunger Games, they talk about the different districts. And hopefully it doesn't turn out to be like that with competing for resources and food. But that's really what this is, right? I mean, not so much for food right now. The desperation isn't there for that. But competing for resources and stuff, that's what the United States State Department does, right? So it brokers all those deals with different countries, with different businesses, to get our businesses in those countries to do different things, try to help negotiate deals for resources and all that between the countries and the businesses and all that from the United States. I mean, that's what happens. And so while our businesses and companies are going out there to bring all those resources back to the United States, that's why I'm like, it's like we're the capital, right, for those books and those stories. Hey, good morning, Chris. Well, Chris, that's not good morning for you. It's probably early evening, afternoon over there on the West Coast, right? Yeah. But the take on it is I don't disagree. And so having like something like Diego Garcia there aids in that. The same reason why we have bases like in and around the Horn of Africa, because of the freedom of travel for all that oil and petroleum that's coming out of the Gulf, and making sure that can happen, and that's for business, right? I mean, that's what keeps our engine going, our economic engine going in the United States and around the world, is that free flow of oil coming out of that region in particularly. So that's why there's military folks out there, so that if Iran says we're going to close down the strait, then we could say, well, no, you're not. So I get it. I could see why it's there and why it's not loved by everybody. I don't doubt that. And that him saying that he's not a big fan of, I wouldn't say that's just something he says. The other point of view of not being a fan of militarization, first of all, that's a weird term, right? I don't think of militarization as a term. It's just an easy term to use with regards to like folks coming out here, or the military actually starting to use property that they leased. You know, one of the things they talked about was there's somebody said something about like storing nukes in Tinian, that there's some nuclear weapons there. I'm like, there are no nuclear weapons in Tinian. Like, I don't know what they're thinking. There's not a base there. There's nothing secure. There aren't any facilities for that. You know, there's nothing like that in Tinian. And, you know, if that's what people are allowed to believe or allowed to propagate, that stuff makes no sense at all. And they talked about the probability of there being nuclear weapons in Guam. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I wouldn't. As far as like missiles or bombs, not like missile silos like in the Southwest or in the Plain States in the United States, but I think that they have stuff for like those B-52s to drop some bad stuff, or for the B-2s to drop some stuff. I wouldn't doubt it. I just don't know it for a fact. But they actually have facilities, hardened facilities to have that kind of stuff there. They have secure facilities. We don't have any secure facilities for anything like that here, and I certainly wouldn't want it. But the fact that somebody thinks that might actually be happening right now, I was like, just no, that's not happening. First of all, if they had something like that, the whole northern 2/3 of Tinian would be all fenced off forever. You would never be able to get in there if that kind of stuff was happening, and that's not happening, right? There's no way. Oh, isn't that the sneaky way to do it? No, dude, no. Not when you got a little Chinese casino that's hanging out right there. That's kind of a casino, kind of not a casino, kind of a money laundering thing, right? Kind of. Not right there on the port. But what were some of the other things that he talked about? He talked about that he's like, China's not our enemy. And in fact, the guy got my notebook right here. And I don't want to hit all the topics, right? I mean, because we'll be here for a while. But I really want to talk about all the topics. I just wasn't really thinking that we were going to knock out all that stuff today. But, you know, you guys send me messages, and, you know, I think it's interesting, and I want to answer some of this stuff to you guys, too, for you. But, so he's like, hey, the military's not a boom. All right, I agree with that. So, again, some of the things that I agree with that Dr. Vaughn was saying, I completely and totally agree. The military's not that economic boom that's going to solve all of the issues for the Marianas. Guaranteed. I completely, 100% agree with all that stuff. That's not what the military here is supposed to do. The military is not supposed to solve all the economic woes of the Marianas. It's not. It never will. It's not that big. And even if it was that big, it would not solve all of the economic woes that we got right now. The other thing he said, China is not a threat. Boy, I really struggle with that one. Because I do view China as a threat. And I would love to have that conversation with him going back and forth. I'm not saying, with everything that's happening in this part of the world, and you just have to look at what's happening with China, with all its neighbors, and what's happening with the Philippines. You know, to paint China as not a threat, I think I don't think irresponsible is the right word, because I don't think he's an irresponsible person. I think he reaches all of his conclusions based on a diligent research, and he just has a different way of viewing some of this than I do. But I do view China as a threat to the region, of course, as far as like their military and their influence, and I think the world would be a worse place if China was bigger in this section of the world, or anywhere else, really. Oh, Brad, what are you saying? The U.S. is bad. I know. We got our things. I talked about Diego Garcia. Oh man. All right. Then he used some of those touch points, those words that just get people going. Like it's like the playbook from the late teens and early 20s. He's like, talk about racism, and these people are European white men. I'm like, oh my God, dude, just shoot me now. Just get it over with. I don't like this talk. Like, it doesn't matter. That part kills me. I'll tell you what, I know that even when friends, acquaintances say, "Oh, dude, you've been here long enough, you're local," I know what that means. I know that I am not local, like, meaning, like, I'm a local resident, right? But I'm not, like, local. You'll never be local. I mean, it would be great if I could be. If there was some way of making that happen, I would love it. But I still know that, like, for people who don't know me and don't know me enough, wouldn't know, like, where you're coming from, would think that some of those opinions, they say this Howley guy, you know, it's like, he knows better, and like, oh, okay, I get that. But none of that stuff. I'm not, like, still picking up shells at the, okay, yeah, I am. But, like, I'm not that newest guy who got here who's trying to tell everybody they're wrong and I'm right. No, I'm not. But I would like to think that at least some of my takes, being from here as long as I have, like, I've got a little insight onto, like, what's actually happening here and how people think about certain things. I don't have it all figured out, but still. So a lot of those takes, like, saying, painting that anybody who doesn't look like somebody, their opinion is less than valid based on their race or their ethnicity. Boy, I never like that conversation. It is very uncomfortable for me to have that conversation with people who use those things like that as talking points. That somebody's race or ethnicity will discount their opinion or their thoughts on any subject. That just sounds awful to me. And that is accepted in some circles, and I'm not a big fan of that. He says, military bases encircling the globe. And I'm like, yeah, because he was talking about, like, where the bases are all over the place. Understood that. I understand that. And my questions, I'm like, what do you think the motivation is for that? And a lot of that he answered about saying that it's really the military industrial complex, that all these other businesses are getting rich off of that, about, like, that's why they drive that fear to get governments to spend money to support their businesses, and their business is the warfare, the equipment, and all that other stuff. Yeah. I get that. Do we need to be all over the world? Not if we're, like, beating everybody up all over the place, but if the United States is really trying to get all the great resources and the best deals for the folks in the United States, then, you want to make sure that you're able to travel, and that you're travel with those goods, and that you're going to be able to do it safely. And that being part of it, sure. I don't love the idea of us becoming Team America World Police, although that's a great time to play that the opening riff of that song. Yeah. It says, Bruce says, lots of them are big on TikTok too. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't do TikTok. It's because when I was in the military as a civilian, they told us the same thing. You don't want to get into TikTok. You can get into all the other things, but when you get on the TikTok, your device and your information is, compromised right from the get-go. So don't do it, can't do it. That's it. So that's why I'm not on it. And I still have that going for me. I wrote down this other thing because it sounded so pro-China that it just didn't seem organic. It almost seemed like somebody who is, like, lobbying on behalf of China. That may not at all be the case, but I wrote it down that it almost sounded like it. Like if I was selling you a brand new product called China. Let's see this one. And this statement that he said too. This is talking about the United States and talking about the military and why the military is starting to become more prominent out here. And he said it's because of the failing attempt to hold on to control in the face of China's rise. Like, all right, that sounds pretty accurate. That does sound pretty accurate. But because you could see with the Chinese investments and all the different islands and all that other stuff, and with the U.S.'s answer to all that is military investment in all these different things. And it's not an apples for apples. It doesn't seem like it is apples for apples to me at all. But at least the U.S. is being upfront about what they're doing. He's talking about, like, the ports and all this other stuff. He's like, China's only got, like, maybe 7 to 12 bases. I'm like, well, I want to ask him about that, about what he considers a base, and that he only said 7 to 12 instead of saying, well, they've got 7 bases here, 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 and here, because the whole thing was only U.S. bases, and why his presentation doesn't show the other side of that coin. Granted, I understand that the U.S. military's outward influence is a lot larger than China's, and that China does have a very large military, at least in terms of like soldiers and infantry and stuff like that. But I would love to know specifically, have him list what he considered the bases, and then I want to ask him about, and this I wrote this too, what do you call the ports that get repossessed by the Chinese? So that is one of the deals. When they come in and they build one of those ports and one of those facilities and those buildings, and they have them as a loan to those countries, and they know the terms of those deals are such that those countries are not able to pay them, and then they repossess them, and they become staging areas for the People's Liberation Army or their Navy. So the PLA, People's Liberation Army in China, and then they call it the PLAN, PLAN, People's Liberation Army Navy. So do you consider those the bases and stuff like that? Again, those are some of those talking points. And let's see. And here was a statement that he said too. The military presence in the Marianas is not meant to defend the people of the United States. And that's interesting. And I'll build off of that a little bit without the exact quote. But he's like, well, why do you think these people are saying that they have these weapons that can hit Guam and everything? And there was a comment in the crowd from someone that said that. You know, why did they specifically know that? In fact, the only time anybody was giving any kind of, I'll say not pushback, but any bit of a challenge to some of the stuff that he was saying, what they ended up doing was changing the individual questions to kind of grouping them into everything. I would have loved to hear the individual questions. And I think that's why I wanted to have the conversation with him. Not to challenge all his notions, certainly not, but to ask questions based on the assertions that he made. And this one here, again, the military presence in the Marianas is not meant to defend the people of the United States. That's one of the things. And I guess part of it, I would say, sure. Sure. It is but it is in the national defense. The purpose of having a base in Washington is not necessarily to defend the people of Washington. It's not like it's a fortified, it's called a fort. Excuse me, nice hiccup there. It's not just called a fort because it's all sandbags and giant walls and it's a fortress. No, it's just a base, right? A base of operations, a base for training and all that, a base for housing. But it is for the overall national defense. The military in the Marianas is based on the national defense of the Marianas, but it's also power projection. Absolutely power projection, and to ensure trade flows as we'd want it to. I mean, you go back to 1898 when the U.S. And they had the Spanish-American War. I know that caused some interesting times between folks in the Caribbean, the folks from the Marianas, and the folks in the Philippines. And getting Guam as one of the spoils of war, if you will, and setting up shop over there was really for commerce and for that power projection and having a base of operations to ensure that the free flow of commerce. Back then, things were a lot different. Think about it, like in 1898, 1800s, there were still pirates in the world. They still have them now. They're more around the Horn of Africa and stuff like that, but still. So you want to defend those assets. It is not solely, But I would say, yes, it is there for defending the people of the United States, but defending the commerce, because having that commerce, it's kind of the argument that what our Congresswoman is saying, that talk about the national defense of the United States is in line with the economic viability of the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. And this is for commerce as well. Is that for me to say that the bases on Guam are just for defense of the United States? No. It's also, again, power projection. And it is for a platform for us to have strength in this region. I mean, think back to the Vietnam War, awful as that was. The amount of B-52s that were operating out of Guam, it's more B-52s that are in the world today. They were just nonstop loading up fuel and ammunition and then dropping it off and then coming back to get more and sending that over to Vietnam. I get it. And then we've got our subs out here, and we've got listening posts out here trying to find out what China's doing out in the area and who's going through. Get it. Totally understand it. But he was saying that the military presence in the Marianas is more about profit and for the military industrial complex and for those businesses to make money. Again, by stoking the fear with our adversaries in this part of the world so that the United States would end up spending more money on defense and for weapons and for other platforms. Okay, I don't disagree with that. I don't. He said China is not the boogeyman. And he said that the military-industrial complex needs to have a boogeyman. And he said that we've been in war, a constant state of war, more or less, since the end of World War II. Yeah, think about it. Every decade, we've been involved in something militarily, pretty heavy. You know, World War II ends at 45. Then you got Korea. You've got Vietnam. And then you've got, in the 80s, we had a whole bunch of stuff going on in South America. And then right after that, you're right into the Middle East. And then you don't stop with the Middle East. You know, the only time we actually kind of stopped and took our foot off the gas for a while in the 90s when Bill Clinton came in. And then at that point, we were getting attacked. Even though it wasn't a real big deal for folks in the States, the military folks understood it. When we had embassies attacked. Was it Kenya and Tanzania? And those were the things that led up to the bombings at Khobar Towers in Saudi Arabia. And in fact, the building, I was not living in the building when it happened, but the building I lived in when I was serving in Saudi, at least for part of it when I was in Tehran, that building was blown up. And a lot of folks were killed, servicemen and civilians. In fact, that building that was destroyed in that bombing was the building that we moved into when we were short in country, meaning like when you're getting ready to leave. We only had a couple of weeks left, and we were there. And then, you know, and I say it was civilians as well, and TCNs, third country nationals. Like a lot of folks from the Philippines were there, doing work on the base and everything. And when that happened, again, not a lot happened. And who conducted that strike? Osama bin Laden. And he didn't actually do it, but he's the one who orchestrated it. And during the early days of Al-Qaeda, which ended up leading to what happened with September 11th. And I know the conspiracy folks, there's people who have all kinds of thoughts about all that stuff. But that's what happens when you're not getting involved with all that. And then September 11th, we go in a little FAFO, and then we screwed up, I think. U.S. made a bad turn. There was no reason for us to go in Iraq in 2003. We should have just taken care of business, a little TCB in Afghanistan, take care of everything, and get out. Instead, go to Iraq so George Deb. So Deb, yeah, could take care of seniors business, but that's all right. Boy, this took a sad turn, a downturn. Anyway, still sticking on this thing, what he was talking about. And one of the other things he says that, hey, members of the military are victims of this system. I understand that. You know what I like about that is because there's a question that popped up. Is it on the next page that they talk about? No. There was a question that popped up. I didn't take notes during the question and answer period because I was moving the camera around all over the place from the side. I didn't have my regular table spot because I didn't want to be in their way. But one of the questions that came in with this is one of the young women who was there asked the question, how do you have this conversation with folks in the military? Now, she's clearly bought into all of this stuff that he was saying. Maybe not everything, but she's all into it about the military and all that, about not being a big fan of the military in the Marianas. How do you have this conversation with family members? How do you have this conversation with service members who are friends, who are vehement in their beliefs that this is what she's saying is wrong? And this was great. He said something like this. He's like, hey, members of the military are victims of this system. And he said, you know what? The first thing is you got to start from a point with love. I like that. Not getting all sappy about it and all that other stuff, but the thing is that he's saying that this is what engendered him to me a little bit, aside from other points, about him, but because it's like, yeah, if you're you got to have a conversation with folks. You can't just write them off. That's the right point of view. Even if you dislike their point of view, even if you don't think their point of view that they have reached is valid, you could still have the conversation with them and have that. Okay, I like that. I like that about him because that means you can have a conversation. You can't automatically write somebody off that he's my age or older, so he's an adult in the room. You could have that same point of view in your 30s. You're the adult in the room. The 20s, you're an adult in the room. But when you automatically write someone off because they have a different point of view from you, well, you're not ready for a conversation. So that's what I liked about him. But you could still disagree, right? Someone else in the crowd brought up a point of someone who was at NMC in one of their classes. And when they shared what this person said in class, it got my blood going because this person was supposedly a veteran and said some really crappy things. It just sounded like some Howley guy who was all fired up, and he's got a lot of stuff. Whoever this guy is, if he's not PTSD'd, or if he was just having a crappy day, or maybe he's just a crappy person. I mean, because that's possible too. Just because you're a veteran doesn't make you a good person, clearly. But the stuff that this guy shared, that this guy was saying in class, I'm like, that dude's cracked out on something. He needs to have a conversation with someone who give him a hug, because I don't agree with what he was saying. But the thing is that trying to think of how to present what that guy said in class, because it was secondhand to me. I can't, the way it was presented is that this guy was saying that the military can take your land anytime they want to. And I would say that that's true. The way they presented it, the way he actually said it, was pretty awful. It sounded like this guy has got a lot of hate in his heart for different things, and I would really like to have a conversation with that guy too. But that this guy said, hey, the military could take your land whenever they want to. Okay, so if that is the case, well, let's just say yes, they could. What happened with Pagan? They didn't take it. And this is one of the talking points about it. While I don't think it's terrible to get people to distrust certain things and certain ways of conversation and all that other stuff, when it comes to the stuff in the military, I would like to just ask that question. Say, well, wouldn't it also be right to say, because they were talking about it's They were saying, yeah, we won with Pagan. Yeah, we won. All right, I get it. I don't think of it as a us versus them when it comes to the military and stuff like that. I think of it as like us versus us. And isn't it possible to have a valid point of view that rests in that the military initially thought that they could make a deal for Pagan for some of the heavy training that they wanted to do and the heavy stuff in Tinian that they wanted to do? Isn't it also valid to say that they listened to the voices of the people of the Marianas who vehemently disagreed with that point of view and did not want that stuff here on U.S. soil, and they went in another direction? Yes. Was it easy? No. Was there a lot of pushback? Yes. Like almost 30,000 comments about it. I don't know that it's a us versus them, that's a we won versus we listened. The us versus them with this stuff is tough because it's easy to get people riled up about that stuff. But I think that that's also a valid point of view. It's not the U.S. military. It's our military. It's ours. They got to listen to us. We're paying for that. Their whole purpose to exist is to serve in the defense of the United States. And that's us. What muddies this conversation on that side is that there's people in that organization who also would like to just be independent. Hey, point of view. Someone's got that point of view. But I believe that colors a lot of their thoughts about some of the other stuff. And that's what makes it challenging to try to bridge that gap. That's why there are some obstacles that you just can't overcome in those conversations, because that's another one of their bottom lines. That's one of their foundation for their opinion, the formation of their opinions. And not that you can't say that that's the same with everybody. I know. There are some people who are they're just not a big fan of the military, and they also love the United States, and that's it. There's some people who want to be independent. And that's why when you get those folks who are in there from Guam, who are talking about like that independent Guam, they're in the minority in Guam, right? But they have an opinion. It's valid too. I don't agree with it, but it's an opinion and it's valid, just not for me. That's what muddies the conversation for us here. For some of them, they're just trying to use the negative impacts or their perceived negative impacts from the military as a building block for the foundation of their conversation to say they don't want to be part of the U.S. I get it. I get those conversations. Anyway, I think that is kind of in a nutshell how that went. Now, afterwards, I had the opportunity to have a conversation with him, albeit brief. With Dr. Devine, and it was very brief because he was signing books. I won one of the books in the raffle because I signed up to go to this thing, and it was great. And we left. I was going to try to get him on the show, and he was interested. But again, that dance card was pretty full, so hopefully we'll have him on here. I look forward to having a more meaningful conversation with him, somewhere along these lines, and to have it with you guys. Ideally, we could do it live, so we could take calls and we could take comments. So it's, and again, that same kind of respectful conversation that's meaningful and productive. Like, that's the important thing. I'll never sell him that the military is perfect or great in every way and deserves to be around without being looked after. Of course not. I'll never try to do that. And of course, you need to have oversight and all that kind of stuff. They do some crappy things sometimes. But the overall thing is, no, the military is just a bunch of dudes and men and women who raise their hand to serve their country, and they got a job to do. And that's it. Who sets that? Other people. And he'll never convince me that China's not the bad guy. Yeah, China's not the bad guy for everything. But when it comes to their military influence and what they're doing out here, I mean, they are running counter to our interests out here. All right, that's a long talk about all that stuff. Either way, I know that we'll be able to have a good conversation. I know it'll be fruitful, and I think it'll be entertaining and interesting for folks who really care about what's going on out here in the region. All right, that seemed a little heavy, but that meeting was pretty heavy, and it was. I'm glad to have it. Now, we'll say one last little bit of things about that meeting. So when our Commonwealth group put that out there, that they were having this, the first thought I had about it was like, ugh, all right, it's going to be something where, they're going to say a bunch of stuff that I'm not going to feel great about. And, I don't need to be there and all this other stuff. But the other thing is, if you just write that off, you're making a decision not to care about what's going on. And you're making a decision not to care about what other people's thoughts are outside of yours. And you live in that echo chamber of life, and you paint yourself into a corner. That's not healthy. It's not good. It's not good for the Marianas to automatically write people off that are your neighbors, your family members, your friends, people you genuinely care about, people you genuinely love. You can't just say, that's it, not for me, out. No, you got to listen. You got to hear it, even if it's difficult to hear. That's the only way you're going to build bridges with folks, because when stuff goes down here, no matter what it is, you're going to help each other. When it comes to storms, these economic things, I mean, look at all the people who came together when we had that NAP stuff happen, when people who were not able to eat and not sure where their next meals were going to come from. Who came together? Everybody, from all different points of walks of life. It was everybody. And you got to keep that hardwired in the way you think about stuff, in the way you think about your neighbors here. Small island, we love each other. We're still here. There might be some people who are a pain in the butt. I may be one of those people. But either way, we got to stick together with each of us, and you can't write people off just because you don't agree with them. All right, guys, we're going to take a real quick break. We're going to hit some headlines, and probably a good idea for us to move on. So here we go. Latest from
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. U.S. immigration agents arrested more than 130 people in a weekend sweep through Charlotte, North Carolina.
We've seen masked, heavily armed agents in paramilitary garb driving unmarked cars, targeting American citizens based on their skin color, racially profiling and picking up random people in parking lots and off of our sidewalks.
North Carolina Governor Josh Stein.
This is not making us safer. It's stoking fear and dividing our community.
The Trump administration's made the Democratic city the latest focus of its immigration enforcement surge that it says will combat crime. Meantime, a defense official tells the AP hundreds of National Guard troops deployed to Chicago and Portland, Oregon, are being sent home, and remaining troops will not be on the streets. Still, U.S. Northern Command says it will maintain a constant, enduring, and long-term presence in those cities. A blistering ruling in the legal case against former FBI Director James Comey.
A federal judge has ruled the Justice Department engaged in a disturbing pattern of profound investigative missteps when it secured an indictment against former FBI Director James Comey, directing prosecutors to produce 2 defense lawyers all grand jury materials from the case. The judge also cited fundamental misstatements of the law by a prosecutor and unexplained irregularities in the transcript of the grand jury proceedings. The 24-page opinion is the most blistering assessment yet by a judge in a criminal case against Comey that is already subject to multiple other legal challenges, including motions seeking a dismissal of the case, arguing that prosecutor Lindsay Halligan was illegally appointed and that the prosecution itself constitutes a vindictive prosecution. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
A down day for stocks. The Dow lost more than 550 points, well over 1%, while losses for the S&P and the Nasdaq approached 1%. This is AP News. Concern about pasta tariffs.
A U.S. Commerce Department review based on allegations that Italian pasta makers were undercutting U.S. competitors by selling Italian pasta at below market prices has President Donald Trump threatening to raise tariffs on imported pasta by a total of 107%. In Philadelphia, Sal Ariema's Claudio Specialty Food has been in business for more than 60 years.
Pasta's a pretty small sector to pick on. Pasta, it's a basic food.
Something's got to be sacred.
In Italy, Margherita Mastromoro, president of the pasta makers sector of Union Food, says a 107% duty would essentially mean a halt to pasta imports. Still, Auriemma thinks some Americans will pay the increased prices.
For Italian pasta, especially really good Italian pasta.
I'm Donna Warder.
There's more news at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
If you see something, say something. And stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at nmicrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
It's the 12 bags of Christmas from Bud Light to you. Buy a pack here at home, win big prizes too. Gather your friends, the season is here. It's the 12 bags of Christmas from Bud Light.
The 12 weeks of cheers are on. Purchase any 12-pack of Bud Light, Budweiser, or Michelob Ultra cans now through December 19th for your chance to win a trip for two to watch your favorite NFL team live, plus weekly prizes. Details at currentcnmi.com.
Coffee's brewing, steam in the air. Dial tone buzzing like I just don't care. And there he is on line 2, peeling GZ Mo coming through. Feeling hot, feeling sexy. Peeling GZ Mo gets me. Morning shows lit when he calls in with his fire and his grin. He says the sun bows when he walks by. Clouds part just to catch his eye. Every word drips like molten gold. He's a heat wave you can't control. Oh, and he's burning up the line every time he says I'm fine. Feeling hot, feeling sexy. Peeling G's that Mo gets me. Morning shows lit when he calls in with his fire and his grin. Is it his voice or that laugh that he's got? Temperatures rising, someone call the doc. He's a spark plug, he's electric, making every morning eclectic. Feeling hot, feeling sexy. Feeling G's that Mo gets me. Morning shows lit when he calls in with his fire and his grin. Feeling hot, feeling sexy. Feeling G's that Mo gets me. Morning shows lit when he calls in with his fire and his grin.
My goodness. Having a little bit of fun here. That's the Peeling song. Peeling Gazetmo in the house. That is great. Man, I'll tell you, that would be interesting, Caleb. That's for sure. Good morning, everybody. We are going to be wrapping up here shortly here at Good Morning Marianas. And, did it just go back in? Oh, wait. This is the second version of it. Well, let's give it a shot. Let's hear what this one sounds like. Two versions. Yeah, Bruce, I know. I love that beat.
Coffee's brewing, steam in the air. Dial tone buzzing like I just don't care.
I like the first one a little better.
And there he is on line 2. Peeling easy mo coming through. Feeling hot, feeling sexy, feeling cheesy mo gets me morning. Shows it when he calls and with his fire and his grin. Feeling hot, feeling sexy, feeling cheesy mo gets me morning. Shows it when he calls and with his
Not bad.
fire and his grin.
I'm not a fan. They need to work on the pronunciation of peeling gizmo. So I tried it again. Let's hear it. Let's real quick. This is more fun. I made a little tweak to see if the pronunciation is better.
Dialing in the same old tone. Feelings on the radio phone.
So far.
She's hot,
Oh,
hotter than a volcano zone.
not a she.
Feeling gizmo. She's feeling the glow. Turn it up, turn it up.
Okay, let me make.
Feeling the show.
Let's see if they got. Okay, they got the gizmo part right. All right, that's funny. I made another change to the prompt about a male caller instead of a caller. Let's try this version. This one's still gonna have the female part in there though. See what we got. The new songs are just about ready too.
Dial it in the same old tone. Peelings on the radio phone. Says she's hot, hotter than a volcano zone. Peeling, gizmo. She's feeling the glow. Turn it up, turn it up. She's feeling.
All right, not too bad. 9:10 in the morning here on Tuesday. Good morning, Marianas. All right, let's try it again. This one, I know they got the man part down because it says Mr. Morning Heat. Let's find out if this is the tweak we needed between the male caller and the gizmo, or gizmo. Little different lyrics on this one as well. Let's see how it goes. Pilling, we're working on this for you, brother.
The clock strikes 6, the coffee brews.
That's accurate. That tracks.
Downtown sings, it's the morning news.
I'm gone.
Then comes a boy smooth as silk.
Ow!
Dripping charm like honey and milk. He's got the vibe, he's got the flow. Every day he steals the show. Feeling gizmo.
There we go. This is it.
Feeling sexy, feeling bold. Feeling gizmo. Hotter than the radio. He's the man that makes the glow. Feeling sexy, feeling bold.
This is it.
Feeling gizmo. Feeling gizmo. Says the sun bows when he walks by. Clouds part ways to watch him fly. He's got swagger like a heat wave burst.
I'm digging it.
Even when it feels the thirst. He's not shy, he lets it show. Turn it up, let the feeling grow. Feeling gizmo. Hotter than the radio. He's the man that made the glow. Feeling sexy, feeling bold. Feeling gizmo. Hotter than the radio.
Okay.
He's the man that made the glow. Feeling sexy, feeling bold.
That is it. That is it. That is the theme. That is the anthem for Pilling. You're hearing it, folks. They can't do better than this. Yet they try. There is another version. We're going to have to hear it. But I am digging this one. Oh, they said G. What happened? You were so close. There you go. got this. I can deal with this. This is good stuff. This should be his ringtone. I got to make this his ringtone on the phone. That's it. The regular callers, they get their own personal ringtone. Now, here's the other version that they just came out with. Same lyrics and everything. First one was good. This one, I feel like I've got like an old DeVille that I'm driving in. Very big hat. Maybe a plush suit. Velour.
The clock strikes 6, the coffee brews. Dow Jones sings as the morning news. Then comes a voice smooth as silk, dripping charm like honey and milk. He's got the vibe, he's got the flow. Every day he steals the show. Peeling jizzes low.
That's where they lost it. Well, we were pretty good there for a while. It's not bad. I like it. I don't like it, but I am a big fan of the version of it. So we got our Peeling Gizmo song, not too shabby. Still got to work on yours, Louisa. It needs a little help. The one that they came out with was not as great as you deserve for this one, but it's a lot of fun. Hey, good morning, Ann. Great to see you this morning. Thanks for tuning in. All right, well, that's going to wrap us up, I think, for today. We did get the latest news that's out there. Do have one more sports update that we'll get you, and then after that, we're going to call it a day. Remember, you can get all kinds of information. We got stuff on NMINewsService.com, where we've got a whole bunch of things that are up there already for today's show. If you haven't already checked it out, please go do it. NMINewsService.com. That is our website. That's how you're able to see everything that's happening in the Marianas today. And if you have information, if you got stuff that's happening in your neck of the woods, drop us a line so we can post it on there for you. And just as a reminder, we just got a question. Somebody just asked us, hey, what does it cost? You know, what can you, what are you going to charge us for to post a first year death anniversary? The answer to them is $0. If you have a funeral announcement, a death announcement, just send it to us and we'll post it for free. It'll be on there. We have a whole obituary section that you're going to be able to see. And it's easy to get to. Now, if you need us to make it for you, we do have a charge for that. It's only $50, but that's because there will be revisions and all that other stuff. I did it for free before, but there was a bunch of back and forth, and I just realized that there's more time that you put into it. So $50. That's if we have to make it. If we don't have to make it and you already have it, we'll post it. Cost you $0, 0 cents. And we're going to post it on the page and it'll be there forever. So that's what part of our commitment to you in the community is. So that's it. Cost you nothing to have it posted on the new service. And we're also going to post it on all the socials too. We'll put it on a YouTube post, a Instagram, and on Facebook. It'll all be there in all those places, and we're not going to charge you anything at all. You're already going through enough in your life. You don't need us to charge you anything. Again, unless we have to make it. If we have to actually make it, then we've got a small charge on there. But then we'll post it on all those places. So, all right, guys, that's going to do us for the show. I want to say thanks to all of you guys for tuning in. Oh, have you forgot that there's a great place to go for lunch? Where are you going for lunch? I know it's Taco Tuesday. They might not have tacos over there. Oh, I think they do, actually. But Ina's Kitchen, they've got great foods, great snacks, and great stuff for you to get to enjoy when you get down there. In fact, and if you are going to get down there, want to make sure that you're able to get there pretty easy when you're hopping around down the road. So let's take a real quick look at the roads right now. This is your live look at traffic right now at 9:17 in the morning here on Tuesday. And Saipan's roads are looking pretty good. Just a couple of hot spots around here, not too much. Over there in Chalampiao, but down by the mobile station intersection, you can see that there's some traffic there. Zooming back out and going around the islands, just a couple of little touch points, but it's not that bad. Traffic looking pretty good. Although we mentioned it, it's the Rodeo Drive of Saipan between Capitol Hill Market, Zenu Market, and New Sarah Market. Everybody wants to be there, baby. That's the hot spot. So there's a bunch of traffic for folks who are making their way toward the legislature from the backside over there on East Drive. A little bit of backup over there on East Drive at the base of Capitol Hill, where you can see the traffic stretching all the way back past the Flame Tree Terrace, and you can see the folks over at Ina's Kitchen. Maybe they're already preparing your lunch. If they had breakfast, could you imagine all the good stuff that they have there with eggs and rice and all that stuff? Oh my gosh, I would love it. All right, also some traffic coming down from Garapan from the tennis courts / pickleball courts, and heading south with an F all the way to Shirley's. A lot of congestion over there, so don't expect to get anywhere faster there. Just going to be some delays. Little touch and go all the way down Middle Road and Beach Road. Even the intersection that matters at the place where connections matter looks pretty good. All right, and everything else in between looking mighty fine. Speaking of mighty fine, you can get anywhere you need to go in a mighty fine way by hooking up with the folks at Transit CNMI and get on that blue line. The blue line taking you everywhere you need to go from Tocqueville to the Paseo, and they're able to do it just $2 each way. Bonus if you are a student, military, veteran, Monomco, or you've got a disability, then it's only $1. And then for this month only, in November, if you're in the military or if you're a veteran, flash your ID card. You and your immediate family members, if they're with you, get to ride for free. That is the best deal in town. You can give them a call at 236-2682 to get some more information from anything that's happening with Transit CNMI. They're driving on the blue line Monday to Friday, 6:30 in the morning from till 8:30 at night. Weekends at holidays, 6:30 in the morning to 8 p.m. Make sure you're paying exact change because they do not make change on the bus. Again, give them a call, 236-2682. There's air conditioning, comfortable seats. It's awesome. And there's free Wi-Fi while you free drive. I don't know. I think that's too much of a stretch on that one, Brad. That one doesn't really count. All right. That's what we got for you today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here. All the news, sports, weather, updates. It looks like we're going to have a couple of cherry days in a row here weather-wise in the Marianas, and I hope you guys enjoy every bit of it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back again tomorrow for another edition of the Marianas' #1 morning show. How is that true? It's true. You got to check it. Just take a look at the numbers. It tells us that, and it's all because of you, because you're watching and you're supporting us. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. We'll be back again tomorrow with more Good Morning Marianas. Take care.
Today, so let's get started. Woke up, it smiles, the sun shining.